And we are live. Welcome to episode 8 of The Business Lawyer Said. And in this week's edition, we're going to be taking a question as it relates to contract disputes. What to do, how to do it, who say what, when, how, when you are in a contract dispute. I'm going to be going over the first couple things you need to do when you have that. So if you are new to the Business Lawyer series, this is a Q&A where we go over your simple business law or business type questions. I provide some form of response. And if you would have a question for me, you are very welcome to send it to me. You can send it to me by sending a DM, or you can send me an email. My email address is info@andersonlawfl.com. And thank you for watching. So first, my name is Nicosia. I'm the owner of Anderson Law Firm, and I specialize in business law and intellectual property matters. Intellectual property matters being trademark and copyrights, whether that's disputes, creation, protection, all of the above. So if you have questions about that, I can answer those too. So with that, let's get into this week's question. Contract disputes. Let's get into it. Now, what's a contract dispute? A contract dispute is simply where you've entered into a legally binding agreement with another person and you said that you would do X and they said they would do Y, right? But sometimes in business, as we all learn, things are not that clear. Things are always not that simple. There may come a point in your relationship with the other party, where somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do. Somebody is not holding up their end of the bargain. And when that happens, it often forms some of a dispute. So what's the first thing you should do? If you believe that you're in a contract dispute where someone was promised to do something and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, the first thing you should always do is review the contract. Review the contract. More likely than not, if it was drafted very well, the contract will outline the things that you need to do when you believe the other party is not holding up their end of the bargain. Okay, what does it say? More likely it'll tell you need to let them know. They need an opportunity to cure. What does that mean? Cure means fix the problem. Usually you put a person on notice. They have X number of days to cure the problem, cure the reason for you to believe there is a dispute. All right. So let's say there is no cure period and the contract is void of this. Well, number one, moving forward, you need to make sure that you have some type of detailed paragraph about what to do in the event of the dispute. But the other thing that you need to do is part of point 2. So that leads me to go to point 2. So the second thing you need to do when you have a contract dispute is this. The second thing you need to do is make sure that you are in compliance with all of the terms of the agreement as it relates to you. You cannot put another person on notice and then tell them that they haven't done something that was outlined in the contract if you haven't done what you were supposed to do either. So when you entered into that contract, you also made an agreement to do what you needed to do. So both parties would be in compliance. You can have one who's not, but you need to make sure your stuff is on point. So that's point number 2. We are now going to go into point number 3 on what you need to do in the event of a contract dispute. All right. So we've talked about reviewing the contract. We've talked about making sure that you have done what you need to do and are in compliance, or on track with what you said you would do for the contract. Well, the other thing you need to do is document. You need to document from the time you believe the dispute has happened all the way up until the dispute is resolved. What does that look like, Nicosia? Well, that looks like you letting them know that they're in this, you believe to be in non-compliance in writing. So typically most people, we live in a digital age, they'll send an email. Well, you need to make sure that that person received the email, right? So put on read receipts. You can't put on read receipts, put it in writing in paper form, write them a letter, put it in an envelope, but send it in a way in which you can ensure that they receive it. So that's that's certified mail, that's certified with a read receipt, that's sending it FedEx, UPS, however you want to make sure that they got it, make sure they got it. And then document all your future correspondence. That means emails, text messages, keep a record, because if they are not responding to you, that's breach. If they acknowledge that they are in the wrong and don't cure it, that's a breach. All potential. Again, I don't know what your contract says, but if you believe that there's a dispute, you need to do whatever it is you need to do. So let's recap those 3 things, right? The 3 things are what to do in the event of a contract dispute. Number 1, review the contract. The contract should always outline how you got into the contract, and most certainly how you can get out of it, and what to do if you have a dispute. So that's good contract drafting. That's number 1. Number 2, once you believe that you have a contract dispute, you need to make sure that you are in compliance with all of the contract terms that you agreed to. You can't just put somebody else on notice and not do what you're supposed to do either. And yes, that may mean that you have to continue to perform even though the other person is not. That is just okay. So that is a detriment that you may have as a result of being in business. Now, point number 3 is very simple, and so many people miss it. Again, document. You need to document everything that you've done from the time you got into the contract, from the time you believe the dispute has occurred. You have to document it. And you need to make sure that you document when you put the other person on notice that they are, which you believe, in dispute of the contract, meaning they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So there's that. So I just went over the 3 things you need to do when you have a contract dispute or you believe you're to be in a contract dispute. And if you want some more tools and tips, or you want to have a one-on-one with me, send me a DM and put contract in the message, and I'll know where you came from and I'll know what we're going to be talking about. I am happy to answer any questions. If you want more, you can certainly give me a call. Look at me, I'm old school. Did anybody else see that video about Kev on stage about how the kids do this now and we do this? But anyway, you can give me a call, sign up for my emails, either way. And if you have a question, if you have a business law question that you want me to answer on the next Business Lawyer Said Q&A, then you can put it in this question section here, or you can send me a DM with it, or click the link in my bio to send it via email. Either way, it'll get logged and I will answer it in a future episode. So thank you so much for watching, listening, however you're consuming this. I thank you so much for your support. Until next time on the Business Lawyer Said.